Hey guys, Cameron from AltRockLive.com, and we're here with Kutless today. So I'm just going to have you guys go around and just kind of say your name for the camera, if that's cool.
I'm Jeff, I play drums.
John Micah. Nick.
Dave.
My name for the camera is James.
Hey camera.
I guess I'm another musician in the band.
Yeah, well, so there's a drummer for the band and just all singers from there.
Yeah. Drums and 4 vocals.
Drums and 4 vocals. So Kutless has been around for a while, just being a really cool Christian rock band. And so, kind of, if you guys can kind of take this as you as you go. But what are how do you guys kind of start? And what was your kind of vision when you did start?
Yeah, we started back in I guess the earliest form was in about 1999. Started doing worship just at our college back in Portland, Oregon, and that's kind of where we first started playing music together ultimately. And then from there, in I'd say probably 2000, late 2000, we started actually doing original songs and performing in concerts and all that kind of stuff, and ended up doing that all the way up until the end of 2001. We ended up signing a record contract with Tooth and Nail BEC Records, and went on our first tour January 2002, and pretty much been on the road ever since. Really, our hope and focus is just to share God's love with people through music. And I think that if there's one thing we've seen through traveling and meeting people, I can't believe how many people don't understand God's love and His heart for people. Even Christians that have grown up in the church, so many people have, they know all about God's law, but they don't understand what it means to have a personal relationship with Him and the love that He has for them. And so we've really just tried to spread that to people and share with them and love on them. And for people that have never, don't know anything about Christianity or have never experienced God in any way, we hope to be able to introduce them to how God can change their life.
That's really cool. So you say that you were there to reach out to not just the people who didn't know Jesus, but also the people who did know Jesus, but maybe didn't know how much He loved them or kind of understand that fully. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I think the American church especially, we're rooted in a lot of tradition. We're a fairly Christianized country, and so a lot of people grow up just under the traditions that their family has done for years, and oftentimes it never gets beyond that. It never becomes personal, and if you just are rooted in, well, my mom and dad said do this or that, Christianity can become nothing but a bunch of do's and don'ts, and I feel like that's missing the entire point. And so we hope to be able to really point people in the direction of personally knowing Christ.
Cool. So out of the songs that you guys play, what do you think will be the songs that either speak that to you guys mostly, or you feel speak that message of love or to so many other people the best, or what would you say?
Really from the perspective that we've received from people talking to us and emailing us and just having conversations with we have a song called What Faith Can Do on our most recent record. And it seems like, I feel like that song has spoken to people in a lot of ways from all different kinds of walks of life. Typically a lot of people have, right now there's just a season of hardship, in our country and our world, and there's always hardship obviously, but we've been realizing that so many people have been going through really, really intense, heavy things, and that song has really helped them through it, and it's helped us through it. It's helped us through our ministry and through this band, and it's really given us a really humbled perspective of being able to be out here and communicate with people and be in fellowship with people. Another song that we have is called Strong Tower, and those two songs particularly seem like they're the kind of, more people know us for those songs than any other songs. Yeah. And they're just straight up worshipful, hopeful, knowing that God has a plan for our lives, knowing that God loves us individually and desires a relationship with us. And He's given us promises in His Word that He's got it if we let Him take it. And that's what those songs are really about. And that's why we're out here doing this. That's why we're away from our families, is because we're called to share this story, to share this truth with people. And it's really exciting to see people receive it and accept it and allow the Lord to affect them through it.
That's cool. Now, John Micah, you do most of the writing for this, or do some of you guys help as well, or the lyrical writing at least?
Yeah, I've done you know, a lot of the lyrics and melodies and stuff like that. You know, more recently, I'd say everybody's gotten more and more involved in that, which has been cool.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of the songs over the years have been predominantly lyrics that I've written, but you know, Strong Tower or It As Well, both those records being worship records, we brought in a lot of traditional worship songs and stuff as well from, you know, outside writers. But those are really the only two records we've really had a lot of outside writers involved in, other than just producers and stuff that were, you know, kind of involved in the whole project. So
certainly, yeah. Well, so now, what would you say the difference between writing or preparing one of your rock records and one of your worship records like Strong Tower or It As Well?
From a writing perspective?
Sure. Yeah.
I think on the
go about it the same.
Yeah, but I think for the worship record, maybe tackling lyrics that are more vertical in nature of what I would say would be forms of exaltation, I guess, of who God is, what He's done, those kinds of things. Whereas some of our rock records, we also, you know, we deal with life's difficulties more, I guess, as far as like, you know, some of the songs, you know, like To Know That You're Alive or Hearts of the Innocent, or some of these songs over the years that they deal with more, I guess, specific or even broader on both sides of the spectrum issues of not just like, God, you're awesome, you're wonderful, you've changed my life, but kind of nailing down, like, you know, things like that question of why, if it's a loving God, then why does God allow pain and hurt into the world? And that's the kind of question that, like, To Know That You're Alive addresses someone in a song. But on a worship record, I think it's not necessarily, you know, we weren't as inclined to go there, I think, just for the sake of the feel and the heart and the focus of the record. But that's not to negate either one. It's just a different approach. And I think that was really the only difference between the two, because I think on both records we have songs that are very worshipful and very vertically oriented lyrically. But I think on the rock records we had a tendency to tackle some of those more fringe issues, I guess, at least a little more aggressively than some of the worship stuff. And I'd say those songs on the worship stuff was more replaced by common songs people were familiar with and, you know, could sing along with immediately. And that's the whole heart, though, of that record, is to be like, look, here's a record you can hopefully sing along with right away and just be encouraged by and lifted up. I feel like some of the other records are maybe a little more evangelical in nature of, man, here's a cool rock song that you're going to listen to, and hopefully this lyric's going to penetrate your life, and ultimately you're going to wake up one day and go, man, I understand what he's talking about, and hopefully, you know, help them through whatever they're going through. But I don't know if that all makes sense. But
yeah, certainly. I mean, that's really cool. I've seen that throughout your music is, you know, I think often people think Christian music is, you know, singing just how great God is, or like all those things, which are great and are amazing in a worship setting. But it's just, it's great that you guys try to implement an honesty and implement an openness and an ability for people to be like, you know what, I am questioning this. You know what, I am doubting this. You know what, like, I'm mad. Like, how can there be a God of this? How can there be this? You know, and to open the floor for questioning, because, you know, people need that, and people think they start having these questions and they either just doubt and just say like, oh, well, I'm just not going to believe in God. They doubt and they just say, you know, well, you know, I'm just not going to touch those issues because, you know, God, whatever. Which is, you know, I think that I think it's just important to be able to question that, whether you're a Christian or not. Yeah, so that's cool that you guys bring that up.
In a real relationship with God, God expects you to bring all those things to Him anyway.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what having a relationship with any fellow human is like. And all of those are just a glimmer and imprint of what our relationship with God is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
You know? Hi. Sorry. Anyway.
I was going to say, too, sure. I think, you know, the responsibility of Christians to take those questions under their wing, take those people up, because I think some of the time what we end up doing is by pushing those questions off or silencing that or just brushing over people with legitimate concerns, whether, you know, whatever people are wondering. I think we almost give the impression that because we're unwilling to deal with it, God may not have the answers. And to leave a person questioning if God has the answers is a really scary thought. And, you know, obviously we as humans don't have all the answers, but God sure does, and His Word does. And to take that seriously, I mean, questions is a big part of our faith, you know what I mean, is getting real with God, so.
But as a songwriter, though, that's why, too, it's important to me to turn the corner, you know, at the end of the song. I mean, if I don't want to just raise the question and leave it dangling, like, well, good luck with that, you know. So ultimately, and that's what I see happen in the Psalms. If you look at all the psalmists throughout the Bible, why art you downcast, O my soul? Why am I, you know, I'm down in the miry pit, I'm being persecuted, I'm dealing with all this stuff. All throughout the Psalms, you see psalm after psalm after psalm. It's like, I'm screwed, you know. But then in the second half of the psalm, they say, you know, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and they say, but God, you are this, and I know, I trust that you're going to carry me through, and all those kinds of things. And you see the psalmist come around and say, okay, I don't understand. I know I'm in a tough spot, but God, you are faithful, and you are, you know. And so ultimately, we try in those songs raise those questions. Yeah, you know what? That's a real question. That's a real thing. But if you have faith and you believe in what the Bible says, and ultimately I know, and I can hold on to these things and say, God, you are love. You're, you know, your faithfulness, your kindness, and you're going to carry me through this situation. And I think that's an important kind of both sides when we raise those questions, not just to leave that question out there. Because some people do that. They just, well, that question needs to be asked, and I'd say absolutely. But at the same time, if you don't give any solution or any direction in what the potential solution could be to that question, man, you're leaving people just on a journey to nowhere. And so we really try, I think, in the songs when we do raise the hard questions, to also give some direction of biblically, hopefully theologically sound lyrics that say, hey, although you're here, and although life is this way sometimes, ultimately God knows what He's doing, and you got to put your faith and trust in that. He'll carry you through.
And our knees, oh Spirit, come make us humble.